You have been studying Portuguese, maybe for months, maybe longer. You can order a coffee, navigate the pharmacy, survive a conversation if it goes slowly enough and the person is patient enough. And yet, the moment someone speaks to you at normal speed in a real situation with no warning, everything just goes blank. The words you studied, the sentences you practiced, gone. You go home and you study more, and the same thing happens next week, next time you interact with someone. And guess what? That's not a you problem. That's actually a method problem. And today I'm going to show you exactly what's going wrong, because I promise you, you're doing at least 3 of these. Probably more. Hello, I'm Catarina, I'm Portuguese, and I teach European Portuguese. And I'm also currently learning Japanese and a few other languages, which means I know exactly what it feels like to sit at a dinner table and understand approximately nothing, while everyone around you is having the time of their lives. I've been teaching Portuguese long enough to see the same patterns come up again and again. And the thing is, it's not the patterns in the language, but rather on how people are studying it. And these are the 8 things that are keeping your Portuguese exactly where it is. Let's go through them. Point 1 is you're memorizing words without using them in context. Here's the thing about vocabulary lists. Your brain doesn't store words. It stores connections. When you learn a word in isolation, a list, a flashcard, a Duolingo exercise, your brain has nowhere to put it. No context, no hook, no reason to keep it. By Thursday, it's gone. You study it again. By the following Thursday, it goes bye-bye again. And this isn't a memory problem. It's that you're just handling your brain puzzle pieces with no picture on the box. So it makes it very difficult to understand what's the function of that word, and it doesn't keep it. Trust me, I've been there. It doesn't work. Point 2. You're memorizing sentences without understanding why they work. You found a phrase online. Pode repetir, por favor? You memorize it. You use it, but you have no idea why those words are in their order, what pode actually means, or how to change any part of it for a different situation. So when the moment comes and you need something slightly different, you freeze because you memorized the sentence, because you didn't learn the pattern. Memorizing sentences without understanding their structure is like memorizing a route without understanding the map. The moment something changes and gets out of your control, you're lost. Related to the previous point, we have point 3. You don't understand the structure, so you cannot replicate it. And this is a big one. Most language resources teach you what to say, and very few teach you how the language actually is built. Portuguese has logic to it. It's a structure underneath the vocabulary. Once you understand all of that, how verbs work, how the sentences are built, why certain things go where they go, you can actually face any situation. You're not depending on having memorized the exact sentence. You can build it on your own. Without the structure, you're actually just collecting leaves with no tree. With the structure, every new word has somewhere to grow. And that's how the language acquisition works. You have a place to put all the new words that you're learning. Point 4. You don't ask when you don't know, so you just avoid it altogether. This one is quieter, but it's everywhere. I see it all the time. You're in a conversation, you don't understand something, and instead of asking, podes repetir, or o que é que isso significa? So can you repeat, or what does that mean? You simply smile, nod, and hope nobody notices. And then you go home having learned 0 from that interaction. The willingness to ask is a skill, and it doesn't mean anything about you. It's the fastest learning tool you have. The moment you ask, the person will explain, you hear the word in context, and your brain files it, and then you can use it anywhere else. So you're actually getting way more words and more things with this method. But the moment you avoid something, nothing happens. You stay exactly where you are. So ask the question every time. And here is the thing. If you go on my Instagram, you can see me doing that live, because I'm shameless. I ask everything. If I don't know, I don't know. But I want to learn. And the only way that you can learn something is by using it and asking questions. Point 5. You're focusing on books and curriculums instead of real life. Textbook Portuguese is different from real Portuguese. You'll be learning things that we don't use in real life. I'm not being dramatic. The vocabulary, the rhythm, the expressions, they are not gonna match what you hear anywhere in the country. Lisbon, Porto, in the market, at the dinner table. Most courses teach you what's easy to teach, not what's actually useful. They teach you vocabulary that you will rarely use in real conversations and skip things that you'll need every single day. Real life Portuguese, the phrases, the shortcuts, the idioms that reveal how Portuguese people actually think, that's what's gonna move you, not another conjugation table. And here's the thing, many times the lines or the following of every word by word or this unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, they actually don't work. When I study, I skip all of those and I make my own order based off how I speak. So that's actually going to hold you back. Point 6. You're treating bad days as evidence that you're failing. You have a bad Portuguese day. The words don't come. Your brain is fog. You stumble through something simple and you feel embarrassed. And you interpret that as proof that you're not good enough, that is just not working, that maybe you're just too bad at languages, and you study less. You stop for a while and then the gap gets bigger. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain learns in cycles. Good days and invisible days are both part of the process. The invisible days are not failure. They're actually consolidation. Your brain is filling what you've learned last week. The worst thing that you can do is stop on a bad day and call it evidence. So keep going. The good day is coming. And I always tell my students, you need to allow yourself to forget in order to then reinforce that neural pathway so that you can actually learn long term. So it's part of the process. Point 7. You're consuming without producing. You watch Portuguese shows, you listen to podcasts, you follow Portuguese accounts. This is all good. Input matters very much. But if you're only consuming, you're never speaking, you're never writing, you're never actively using the language, you're just going to recognize things. You're not going to be able to use them. Recognition means that you understand when someone else uses it. Like you can see it in a text. You might even recognize it when you listen to it. But fluency means that you can do it yourself. You can reproduce that under pressure whenever it's needed in real life. And the gap between recognition and production is where most people get stuck. The only way to overcome that really is to produce, is to put your hands in the dough, as Portuguese people say. You need to speak before you're ready. You need to write before you're sure. You need to use the word before you're confident. Do what's uncomfortable. Make mistakes. Just do it. Use the language. That's where the language lives. That's how you overcome things, learn and get better and fluent. Point 8. You've been learning Brazilian Portuguese when you really need European. This one is gonna hurt a little bit, but it needs to be said. Brazilian and European Portuguese are not the same. They might have the same basis, but structurally they are different in many things. Words are different. Pronunciation is different. Interestingly enough, there's a few memes of Brazilian people making fun of Portuguese because they don't understand what we say. If you've been learning with Brazilian resources, Brazilian teachers, or Brazilian content, you are building a muscle memory that Lisbon will keep correcting you on. Every time a local will switch to English, part of it might be your accent, might even be something that you said that they can see that you're struggling, not because you're bad at languages, but because you've been training the wrong version. We Portuguese people will understand Brazilian Portuguese, that's true. But if you want to be here and you want to get along, European Portuguese is going to take you further. And the thing is, none of these are your fault. Nobody told you that contexts matter more than repetition. No one explained that structure before handing you vocabulary lists. No one is warning you that Brazilian and European Portuguese would work against each other in certain contexts. You were given bad tools and told to build something with them. Of course it's not gonna move. The fix isn't studying more, it's changing the way you do. The method matters more than the hours. I've seen people with 6 months of the right method speaking better Portuguese than people that have 3 years of the wrong one. And that's not a motivation talk, that's just what's been happening. Things that I've watched again and again with students that come to me. If you recognize yourself in this list, and I think you do, the next step is fixing the foundation before you spend another hour on the wrong thing. I'm making this free resource called the Study Reset. It's going to cover mindset, the retention system, the exact structure of a study session that actually moves you forward. It's going to work for any language, any level. It takes about an hour for you to complete it. The link is in the description. It's free. There is no catch. At the moment of this recording, I'm creating it, so you will have a wait list at the beginning, and then once it's launched, you get an email so that you can do the course. And if you want to see what one of these study sessions actually looks like in real time, then that's going to be the next video. I'm going to walk through a complete bento box session from start to finish. You can follow along. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And that's the one thing that changes how you study for good. And that's it. With Coffee and Chaos, it's me, Catarina. See you next time.